Welcome to another episode of Trevor's Tuesday Tips. Today I wanted to share with you my workflow for cutting odd and usually small shapes on the CNC. This generally comes up for when you're needing to cut something out of solid wood, but the same steps apply for cutting something out of plywood. I found this method to be pretty successful over the years. I leave myself room to screw the board down and then leave an onion skin which can then either be flush trimmed with a router or sent through a drum sander to take that last little bit of thickness off. In the past, I've used double stick tape, but it was unreliable and time consuming to apply and then remove from the final part. So let's get started. Go ahead and just do a board, whatever thickness the material is coming in at. Right now we've got this in at 13/16. If you're going to do something thicker, you're going to want to grab a material that has that correct thickness of what you're cutting it out of, not necessarily the final size. Depends on how you want to treat the pieces after they come off the CNC. I've got the shape of the part here. So what I end up doing is kind of just ignoring the actual shaping of the part, and I create routes to outline this shape. You can see these are, I don't remember if these are paint grade or stain grade, but you have to keep in mind that as far as the orientation of it. So then, so this CAD actually kind of ignore for the moment. It's just kind of a visual right now. Go over to the CAM editor. Actually, first add an operation. I do a route. Size of it doesn't really matter right now, but the thickness here does, because you're going to want to leave an onion skin of some kind. I'm guessing a 1/16. Let's move that down so we can see it. It depends on what bit you want to use. A 3185 is a 3/8 compression. Probably is fine for this application. You may end up having to add a little route in from the side of the board so you can get a router in, or you're just going to have to jigsaw close to that to get that piece free from the overall board so you can flush trim it. Change this to cut on the outside. And now that we have that, now we come over to CAM Editor, right click on this route and go edit. You can just delete those dark black lines, which is the actual route outline. And now we have our part here. So we're just going to want to trace it. And then exit out of shaping. You do want to pay attention to which side this blue origin point indicator is on. Make sure it's on the outside of it. You can also right click on the actual route, go to properties, and see it's cutting on the inside. So right now it's backwards from what it should be, and I have no idea which side of the line it's actually going to cut on. This is probably not the best workflow, and I should have a memory as to which direction to draw these things, but I don't. And I kind of just go trial and error on a lot of it. It stayed showing on the outside, and this is showing on the outside. So you want the visual indicator and the setting of the actual route to match, and you have a pretty good shot of it coming out correct. Cabinet Vision does like to do its own thing sometimes. So now we just need to get this placed and put multiples on here. What I usually will do is make sure to leave 3/4 of an inch to an inch border, especially down here at the bottom, so you can put screw holes down into the spoil board and secure it that way rather than just relying on suction and double stick tape. But this we can probably go, we're just going to do 1 inch. You can also do things to where you flip these things and they nest into each other. Depends on what kind of material you're using. If you only got, a couple of boards and you want to utilize it, if it's paint grade and you have a bunch of it, it might not be worth the time to flip these things around a bunch. But what I'm suggesting is, oops, is doing something like this and rotating it. Now you can get this piece to drop in, something along those lines. Oops, wrong one. This inside line is the actual indication of the part shape that's going to come out. The outside line is the bit diameter. So you can have this line here and this line overlap. It's not going to affect the actual finished part. So let's try it and see. Yeah, see, like this would be in reality fine. And you even could go less if you really need to get tight on material. It does end up being a little sketchy, if the machine wants to do this corner here a little bit differently than what's showing. It's a little scary to do it that tight. But now you have that one. You can do this at 4, and it's 4.5 tall, so no, not 7.5. We just want to do 7. Like I said, it's kind of just a guessing game. So like this should be totally fine. You'll actually end up with a 1/2 of an inch between the actual needed parts. But yeah, just kind of continue that up, figure out placement of them. Don't forget grain orientation, which way these brackets actually want to be showing when it's all said and done. If it is paint grade, I still would have the grain going this direction. Going this direction, this little piece is going to want to break off a lot more easily. But yeah, that's my workflow on it. Possibly not the best, but let me know if you have any questions. Or let me know if you have a better way to accomplish this kind of thing. I will see you next Tuesday with another Cabinet Vision tip.